What is your name, Mom?
Marjorie Ann.
Okay, and how old are you?
Oh, I guess I'm 99.
99. And I'm Mark, her son, middle son, and I am 67.
Well, we had to find a home.
And it was Mary Wright. Is that Les and Mary Wright?
Oh,
Was it?
we went down to they rented a cottage.
Okay, but were they the first ones that brought you to the
I
island?
guess so, I think so.
And I'm guessing it must have been 1958, around that time point. I went through some of my dad's real estate records, and he bought the house on 137 Topaz in 1959. So that's what I have as far as when we moved down. I remember you saying one thing about sort of the reasoning why you like the island versus some other place which was equally nice, King's Road up there, and it was you'd still have to put us in a car.
Yes.
And cart us down to the beach, and
up on the top of it, that's right.
Yeah, and there was something about sand in the car and things like that. So this is, on the island, it's so nice you could just point a direction and you're going to hit a beach somewhere. So that was always nice.
Yeah, it was a good move.
Yes, it was. It was, and it was always nice growing up here because we were the restrictions were stay on the island and come home when the lights come on, the street lights come on, and when you're hungry too. So did it remind you of South Africa where you grew up, the island?
I guess so.
I'm not sure. Did you live? I don't think you lived by the beach in Durban.
No, we were a long way. We used to take the
ox cart, right? No.
Yes, and the dogs used to run underneath because that was a cool spot. Mm-hmm. For the wagon.
And one thing about South Africa, it has a Mediterranean climate very similar to here. And I think that attracted you, at least besides work for my dad and things like that. So my dad came over the big English brain drain, they used to call it, where the United States Space Agency took all the engineers in. And that was part of his movement. So he was part of that, the space program, the building and things like that. And you certainly did have a lot of British friends around here.
Yes.
Always fun, always entertaining.
We went for a boat ride and saw the other big boats, We were just a tiny, tiny little boat.
I just always remember playing down at the beach, down at the BIYC, and it was so easy. I would just run down the sidewalk down there, and there was no restrictions. Just go have fun every summer. It was great. It was a good time. What was Balboa Island like when you first arrived?
It was just nice and homey. Lots of dogs, lots of kids. The house was very nice, very nice. We liked the house first when we first saw it.
So it was 137 Topaz, and it was small though, right? It was only, 2 bedroom, 2 bath, or did it have a third bedroom?
I think it had a third. I don't know, we've had so many houses,
yeah.
I really can't remember.
I think if I remember correctly, it had 2 bedrooms in the front. My brother and I used to share one, and my sister had one, and then there was sort of that bedroom with the ensuite bathroom that had that odd-shaped bath, that triangular bath almost. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I don't remember that.
Okay.
There were some empty lots.
Yes, it wasn't uncommon at all. In fact, we had behind Doug Ferguson's house, 204 Pearl, there's Harvey Pease's lot, and that we would dig forts in, and we'd bring all the Christmas trees over there and light them on fire, which probably we weren't supposed to do. And there were quite a few lots.
It was a fun place. Oh, it's much more crowded now than it was in our day. And of course we had little kids. It was a fun place.
I remember the lots of tourists, and a lot of the houses had rentals or would rent their houses out in the summertime. So you'd have this influx of people every week it'd be different. And then the summer would be more very slow paced, or maybe if there wasn't even UCI wasn't even around then. And it was a much slower pace than it is now, where more people live around here year round as opposed to just coming down for the summer. Everybody used to get a week off in Easter, and it's not like it is now where it's over 10 weeks. So that week was crazy. They used to call it Bow Week, and a huge influx of kids, really, teenagers, and it was kind of wild. Fun, again, fun. And I was well underage, so I wasn't participating yet. What else? They had the 4th of July boat parade, which was I think kind of neat, and also sailboat races, flight of the snowbirds, different things like that were quite fun. Okay, what did you do for fun when you're young, a young adult on the island here with three monstrous kids?
Pretty well did what we wanted to do.
I remember you had a what you would call a discussion group. So once a month you'd meet with, you had an island group, it seemed like, the Fergusons and Brett Rothheim and so on and so forth, and they'd meet, and it was a party essentially, but you'd have topics you'd talk about. And you had one with the island group, and then you had one with all your the British friends. I remember that. Was Dad a deacon, right? In the church?
What's that?
Was he a deacon in the church?
Yes, he was at one. I don't know whether they were hard up or I think he was forthcoming in his...
Must have pulled the wool over their eyes. Do you remember being in the church in the Sunday school service?
Oh yes,
along
I remember
with Dad?
that.
So my dad had he had the students write letters. Is that right? To
yes.
After the Kennedy assassination, he wrote a letter to Kennedy's widow.
He was he did a lot of very amazing things for the kids. The biggest hardship I found was finding clean socks to wear. Always running around. To find 3 pairs of socks matching was some deal.
Is that why you never got Jan any frilly socks?
I guess so, yes.
So my earliest memories were, or things to do, BIYC was, I participated from when I was 7 to 14, and that occupied pretty much my day for the morning and that type of thing. We'd go across the bay and go body surfing. My brother had a boat, sailboat, so we'd go sailing. It was good. It was a good life. So you bought it from somebody?
Somebody, I can't remember who it was. Mum and Dad had a toy shop in England. That was our introduction. And Mark was a good teacher. He'd come in, this little squid. He was only 4, weren't you?
3 or 4.
4, a little boy, and he came in, and it was quite at home with all the people, and he sat down and immediately played with the toys that he liked. And it's true, they would watch him play with the toys, and they'd say, that's a good toy.
Remember, one was a cloth
yes.
map with bridges and roads and rivers and things like that, and play with that, and I think more or less it was...
You really loved it,
I would concentrate on that and not make any noise. I think that's what the customers like. Said, oh, I can keep my kid quiet. I'll get this toy. If that worked or not, I don't know.
Oh, yes.
There you are at the toy store. And the toy store is where the Golden Rabbit is right now. And it was just always a half a store like that.
Yeah. Remember there was a lady that had a dress shop. Oh, and she sold us dresses and said we looked marvelous, and we looked terrible in these dresses.
I know I used to go with my dad. There used to be a big Mattel factory somewhere up in LA, and we'd go up there, and he'd tag me along, and your favorite story is always that they would pack a lunch for me,
yes.
And I would be eating it before the bridge. I went over the bridge, so.
He was a very good boy. He was, he really was.
I was horrible from 0 to 2, colic, right? but this is not about that. We're not going to talk about that.
I think you were pretty good.
My dad said he picked me up and I just smelled like vomit all the time.
Oh,
So, do you remember what you paid for the house on Topaz first? I can tell you.
oh, can you? All right, 36.
Very close, yeah. I mean, it could be 36. I'm not sure. My recollection is 30, what I've been told. And you, the house they lived in El Segundo was 15,000, so it was
Quite a
twice
big
as
jump.
expensive. And I remember you guys saying it was, you had to think it out. And we would, during the summertime, we would move back into the small one-bedroom apartment, all five of us, and rent out the front house on a weekly basis, and that would pay for the entire mortgage for the whole year. And such was life on the island. So I knew no different, so it was all good. And then back in the wintertime, we would move back into the front house, and it's good. Did he have any rows with any of the other store people?
I think he spoke pretty straight to anybody else. But I think he was within his rights to say anything. Oh, he was not a person who'd sit down and have anybody tread all over him. But he did voice his opinion on in no uncertain terms.
Do you remember any altercations, like with the variety store, which was 2 stores down from you?
Oh, I think we always had altercations.
It seemed like I think what you had you would sell certain things, and the variety stock would sell certain things, and when each one of you cross those bounds, you would let the other know.
Yeah, it was the buckets and things.
The pails, the sand pails, and the
Pails,
shovels.
Yeah. Oh yes, we had a wonderful time, and the kids had a wonderful time. They used to get up early in the morning, have breakfast. We really never saw them too much again. Now, you were very good kids, you really were.
Except my sister would always eat sand.
Oh, she loved the sand. Loved the sand. I just don't know whether that's part of her being is the sand. I was not a good swimmer. I had a good voice, good shout loud. But Mark was at that stage round one of the poles, and with a pole and the water eddying round, it always gets quite deep. Poor old Mark was swimming against the tide there, and I went down to pull him in, and Buddy Epson came down, and he saw these socks that Jan was supposed to be putting on, but he put her socks on.
Oh, very nice. I was thinking you were going to tell me Buddy Epson saved me. I was going to be, wow, that's pretty neat.
No, he was a nice man.
He's a very nice man, very nice, very, very friendly. And I remember he had that swimming pool inside of his house there, and I remember I used to play with his son and daughter. We'd play hide and go seek in the house, and 2 people knocked on the door, wanted to get his signature or a handshake, that type of thing. So they came in, and he came out, and they were so awestruck they took 2 steps backwards and went right into the pool. Do you remember Doris and Pedro?
Oh yes, Doris came and lived in a house next door, and of course I was like Tracy. I was always painting up bits of the house, cleaning it up. She was knocking at the door, and she'd got her brush, and she'd come to see whether she could help.
Oh, very good. I didn't know that. My mom also paints postcards and things like that too.
Yeah,
but
no, this is
more
walls.
wall painting.
Oh my word, we
and
did have
her husband. I always remember as Pedro, but it was Don Peterson, right? Don Peterson.
Don Peterson.
Yeah,
yes.
nice,
Very
nice family.
We all got along very well.
And they bought a place on Garnet, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
I've forgotten about Garnet.
Yeah. I used to live on Garnet when I first got out of the military, and she was the mayor of Garnet. So she would found it, if she saw your car parked on the wrong side for the street sweeping, she would always come knock on the door and make sure you moved it, and just took control of the street pretty much. Good person. I mean, I know you were friends with parents that, I knew the kids, like
Yes.
B.B. Rodheim
Yes,
and the Fergusons.
that's right.
Couldn't get away with too much because they would, they didn't, you guys didn't seem to talk too much, like, oh, I saw your son doing this, or, which was good. I mean, you've been essentially on the island the past 65 years, essentially, and the same here, and it's just a nicer community where you know your neighbors, you know the people around you. We lived for a short while elsewhere, and you would drive your car into the garage, and you wouldn't really, you'd know your neighbors a little bit, but not anything like here.
Yeah, no, it was very nice place.
So on the island, there was, there's certain restrictions where you couldn't, you had to get a permit to build something, and I don't think Dad really he didn't like that.
And sometimes when he was doing some work on the island, when he should have been at work, the warning would come out that, I don't know, Maxwell hide or something, and he used to have to literally hide until he could see where the cars were going, because they were out to catch him.
So one of the stories I remember was one of our bus drivers that used to drive us to school. Her husband worked with my dad, so whenever the bus came around, he would have to, and where we're building the house on the corner of Coral and Balboa, he would have to, oh my goodness, here comes the bus, I've got to hide, because I've told them I'm sick or I'm not feeling well, but he was, obviously, so he did the building.
Yes. Oh, we're up to all the mischief things, I'm quite sure. At least 6 to 10, I imagine.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I would say that too. You used to own one on Turquoise for just a short while.
On which one?
Turquoise.
Turquoise.
Yeah, I mean, you owned it. When I looked through the records, like a couple of months, it seemed like. Did you own the laundromat too?
Yes, that was the laundromat.
On Agate, right?
Yes, that was a unpleasant job, because we.
Toy box was better, huh?
Yeah, yes, it was just on the go the whole time. No, but we had a good time on the island, and our kids weren't irresponsible, so they
at least as far as you knew, right?
But you were very good. You used to give lessons, and
I never got in trouble, never got caught.
Yes, I guess that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, that's the thing you have to do. Know when to stop. What am I most proud of? My kids.
Oh. We're all good, all independent and different, and it's good.
And they've got opinions.
I think you'll find my mom is one of the nicest persons ever, except if you say something bad about her kids.
Yes, they mustn't say anything bad.
Nope.
Well, I think they've got to bring their kids up right, and no's no.
You lived below your means, meaning it wasn't an
yes.
extravagant life, and it wasn't, everything. We were very well cared for and things like that,
Yes.
but there wasn't extravagant things and things like that.
Yeah, that's true.
And you say your one extravagance, I guess, would be they traveled a lot. You guys would have 2 or 3 trips a year, and you'd have Nana and Granddad would take care of us, or
Yes.
some other people too, which it all worked out.
Oh, it's always home. It's always been a place I could get a home. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I enjoyed the people.
You remember you made Barbara Burney a dress?
Yes, I do. I remember that very well.
Yeah, it was a dress with boats on it, and she still You probably made it
Yes, but she
in
does.
1965, and she was still wearing. She still had it in 2015.
Oh, yeah. So it was a wonderful place to bring the kids up on Balboa Island. Unbelievable, fantastic.
I remember you when you were younger. You used to like to walk quite a bit, and I know now more. It's more sitting, going down and watching
Sitting on
the
the
boat
bench.
come in. You always know what time it is when the flyer comes in.
Yeah.
So you used to walk. You and Dad used to walk around the island quite a bit, right? Walk the
Yes,
dogs,
yes.
walk
We'd walk, yeah.
walk Sherman,
Sherman, yeah.
and the cat. We used to have a cat that used to follow Sherman. And whenever Sherman, any dog barked at Sherman, this cat would come out.
Oh yes, they were really fun days, and we all had fun. I remember going to see Roger was the first one to go to school, and he was up in the school, all in a circle, and they were dancing, and we couldn't believe that Roger would do such marvelous dancing.
I find it hard to believe too.
Oh no, he was good.
Roger's first job was down at the Jolly Roger, and he would always, they'd have not necessarily leftovers, like leftover ice cream. I remember
Yes,
bringing a whole bunch of ice cream home. It was like, whoa, it's great,
Yes.
heaven. And Jan, one of her jobs, she worked at Dad's Donuts, one of her first jobs. And of course, one of my first jobs was Valley Boat Rentals,
Yes,
and also the liquor store downtown.
that's you. You were very good to do that because they thought a lot of you with the liquor store. They used to take your advice about different things. You know, they had a good life. I think the kids did.
Yeah, it was nice going to work and just walking to work or riding your bike or.
Yes. Yes, oh, I love that when they come by, and it's lovely that you have a seat outside and you sit on the seat and you can stay there all day long, and somebody always comes by to sort of say something.
And we've got our number 2 attraction, George, too.
That's right.
Our dog.
No, we had a very good time. Well, how many years did we have down there?
You've had a whole house down here since 1959, so I think he moved away in like 75 to 90 and came back in 15 years, but you always had someplace here.
We had to live near where the 3 kids were having fun. We had to live near there because to be near the house, so they get food and that sort of thing if they wanted. They were very good at making food and generally taking care of each other. Georgie Porgy. Georgie Porgy. Pudding and pie. Kissed the girls and made them cry. I never can remember what goes on after that.